speaker is a fellow Toastmaster named restaurant. Not bad, our test speaker owns a restaurant. Test speaker is a fellow Toastmaster by the name of Melvyn and Bhargav. For the first time in District 80 Toastmasters Convention, Mr. Melvyn and Bhargav will give us his speech titled Technologic. Technologic. Melvyn, go.
I hope you all enjoyed the meal my restaurant provided for you. Just last week, Samsung announced that they are already producing their latest 10 nanometer class 64 gig memory chip. This is 20% slimmer, 30% faster than its predecessor and way much cooler. 10 nanometers, that's less than 1% the width of a human hair. District Officer, distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, if you had totally no idea what I said just now, it's alright, neither do I. But the fact, in layman terms, it means Samsung is going to produce phones that are way much faster and much slimmer than phones are today, if your phones are already not slim enough. Today, in 2012 going 2013, technology has surpassed men's expectations in so many ways. For centuries, men could only dream about visiting overseas, going overseas by way of sea transport via ships. But until 1903, traveling was taken airborne by the Wright brothers, as we all know. But did you know that you don't need to travel overseas via a plane or ship, but just from your desktop or your laptop? My friend told me last week, "Hey Melvyn, guess what?" I said, "What?" As usual, my response very negative, but then it's me. She said, "Melvyn, I traveled all the countries, I visited them all overnight." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Yes, I visited them all overnight." I'm like, "How did you do it?" So my friend shared. Her answer, Google Maps. Any one of you know of Google Maps? Great. For those of you who do not know, go home, Google Maps, of course, and just punch in your destination. All you need to do is punch in your destination. You want to go to New York, punch in New York, anywhere in New York. After that, just click satellite view, drag this small little yellow man icon onto whatever that you have found, and voila, you're on the streets of New York, Manhattan City. Just by that click. So ladies and gentlemen, go home and try it, and probably you could just visit the entire world in 80 minutes, 80 days. Medical technology today, of course, is also a great advancement. And since the 1960s, medical advancement has added another 20 years to the life expectancy of a Singaporean, according to the World Bank. So, Michael, I think 80 is not a problem for you. No problem, because I attended your speech. But are we really happy? Today, with travel linked to office and school being made so simple, so convenient today, where the moment you step out of your apartment block, the bus stop is right in front of you. You go out there and you flag a bus. A few stops later, you're at your train station. Nowadays, if you go and open your letterbox, any condominium advertisement will say 5 minutes walk from the train station, walking distance from the train station. And of course, as Singaporeans, we always work overtime. Do we have time to exercise? We don't even walk anymore. The Ministry of Health gave the statistics that Singaporeans, ever since 1998, are being obese from a 6% to today, which is more than 10%. Therefore, I ask you, we are living longer, but are we not suffering longer? Back to mobile technology. I still remember my very first phone that I had. It was a Nokia. I don't have a sample, of course. It was a Nokia, a 1.5-inch screen, horrible green color with big black pixelated text. And it has only one game, which is Snake, and over 12 buttons. How many of you had that phone before? Yeah, I can see we all belong to roughly the same generation. That's good for you, right? I got my latest gadget recently. I call it a gadget and not a phone because I really don't know whether is it really called a phone anymore. It has so many things inside it. It has a 4.8-inch screen, many games, but only one button. We all depend on our mobile phones so desperately today. It is our alarm clock, our music player, our reminder. And I know some of my female friends even use the apps provided to track their menstrual cycle. Not that I want to know. We communicate so often, not verbally now, but rather via social networking applications like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. Everyone's posting everything there. Everyone's communicating with their thumbs and their fingers, and you don't do verbal communication anymore. So as Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, are we communicating enough today? Are we talking enough today? My ex-colleague works in a bank as a teller. One day, a foreign worker came out and she asked for his thumb, for a thumbprint. But of course she didn't pronounce it properly, and guess what? She had a tongue instead. So we need to practice communication, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we all understand that technology has overtaken a large part of our lives. But are we ready to give in to technology and be the slaves of technology today and say, I'm a robot for you, rather than them working for us? Take a little time out and just ponder, sit back and wonder whether should you just say, hey, enough of these. I'm not asking you to throw away your iPads and your iWatts and iNot, but rather just take a bag, sit down, put your gadgets aside and say, hey, I'm going to dedicate, say, 2 hours a day for myself, for self-improvement without the influence of technology.
Thank you, Melvyn. Contestant number 3, Bhargav Sri Ganesh. Bhargav Sri Ganesh.
That was a technologically sound speech from Melvyn over there. A big congratulations to him. Melvyn, today I'm going to evaluate your speech using logos, appeal to logic, ethos, appeal to authority, and pathos, appeal to emotion. So let's look at logic first. And that was really appealing. You gave us a lot of information. 20% slimmer, 30% faster, 4.8-inch screen, and the Ministry of Health has just recently given us survey results. So all of that information is very good, and that made me feel, hey, he has researched his topic very well. He knows his topic very well. I really like that. However, you could organize this a little bit better. How? Make us really feel part of the topic. That is, how has technology changed my inner world and how has it changed my outer world? So that we know that what is it in it for me as an audience member who is actually listening to your speech, and it's just not a speech to inform us. The next thing is ethos, appeal to authority. You could have started off by asking, how many of you have Samsung phones over here? Bring the audience inside straight away and show that you're just another member using a Samsung phone. You're just another person in the audience who's using a Samsung phone who has succumbed to every technological change that is taking place. Group the audience together and show that I'm going to tell you about my experiences. Give us a few anecdotes. Show that, hey, one day I was using a Samsung phone. It was 20% faster. It was 30% slimmer. But I had 50% lesser time with my family. Is that what you really want? I spoke 50% lesser with my friends. Is that what you really want? I know all of you are happy, but are you really happy? That's when your rhetorical question comes in as well. So that's how I feel you could improve on it a little bit more. And finally, pathos, which is basically the appeal to emotion. And I feel you could use your vocal variety a little bit more. How? For example, you spoke about how girls use handphones as everything, as alarm clocks. Pause. As reminders. Pause. And even sometimes to track the menstrual cycles. Pause. Look at the audience. Savor that moment as well. Also, when you are talking about how you went to New York and you can be transported like this, show us the urgency in the whole process. You just have to go to the internet now, type N-E-W-Y-O-R-K, and the next moment, click, voila, you are in New York. So add a little bit more of dynamism. Use the whole stage as well. I felt at many points I really liked your conversational style. I felt that it was nice, it was pleasant to listen to, and I really bought into whatever you were saying. But use the stage. Talk to us here. Then gravitate towards here. Talk here, because this is a big stage and you want to show that you are a big person delivering a big, big message. Finally, all in all, when I conclude, I would say this was a very logically sound essay. Not essay, a speech. But how could you improve on this a little bit more? How could you enhance this a little bit more? Technology has feelings too. Give us a little bit more of that feelings. Show us why you deserve to talk about this topic a bit more. And because I remember how I felt, I might not remember what you say. Back to the contest track.